Good day, fine people. A very warm welcome to you. It's Nick here. Let's speed this along. It's zxspectrum games reviewed on the channel 1301 through to 1350. Unbelievable, eh? And we start this one off with Tracksuit Manager. It's just after the World Cup, which hasn't gone very well, I believe. And you take control in this football management game, picking the England side, selecting your players, the formations, and all that sort of stuff. And you basically got to beat everyone in the whole of the world. I was going to say universe. All your popular players there. And it plays out in like tech speak throughout the game, where you can make your alterations live to try and make a difference in the game. Next we're on the Tube. Interesting one, this game, in sort of like two parts. The first one is this like 3D effect where you're blasting everything inside, a bit like Star Wars, I suppose, when the TIE fighters come on. And if you complete this bit, it then goes to a horizontal scrolling thing, and that's extremely smooth, one of the smoothest I've ever seen. I was just wondering why they didn't use this in further games, because this bit is pretty cool. Look how smooth that thing's going on. This is classic zxspectrum times. What engine this was should have been used. Then Space, it's a homebrew, a basic homebrew, where basically you must guide this ship down the screen. Been written in basic. For each level there have been more and more aliens going backward and forward, and the area will become a bit more narrower there. It takes like influence, I suppose, from Moon Crester. As soon as you hit the ship, it takes off a bit like this, a bit like a UFO spotting from the 1950s. Basic stuff. I love seeing games like this, basic as they are. Try getting kid involved now. Impossible. Next up, World Championship Manager. A boxing game, a management game where you take a number of boxers. You can choose their names, arrange fights there to try and make you the world champion going forward. Do training sessions, negotiate contracts, and all that sort of thing. And you can make alterations again, like the football management game in the game, like going rough, going dirty, and all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty good game, World Championship Manager. Don't get lost in that. Jonathan Corwell, Albatrosity, a golf game where basically you've got different modes or different features you can use, like a rubber ball, a bouncy ball, a metal ball, limited amount of strokes to get it in that flag there. Nice music playing all the way through. This is a nice game from Jonathan Caldwell, and he certainly has done a variety of different games. There'll be a few things by him within this. Always worth seeing what he's doing. I don't know if he's done anything recently, but this is a good golf game. Rad Ramp Racer, it's you against player 2, or the AI. You go backward and forward to try and win, but you get extra points for certain tricks. And I was rubbish at doing the tricks here, I didn't really get the hang of that at all. But the graphics are nice. It's always you're on a BMX or a skateboard, you choose which one. The other player does the alternative one, so it's not just about winning, it's about picking up the points as well. So it needs a bit of finesse. As a newbie, you might not get any tricks at all, a bit like me, but you try and get it the next time. Die Alien Slime, influenced by the game Alien Syndrome. Alien Syndrome is the better and more well-known game. Very yellow and cyan used throughout. Quite often I can't see the enemies, they're very hard to spot. It's interesting, but I think the map could be a bit better. Like all these games, the object is to try and escape before your energy or the time runs out. Great name, but the name is better than the game. Not bad as such, but could be a bit better. It's a little bit bland for me. Blizzard's Rift, another one from Jonathan Caldwell. This is an inertia gravity game, influenced like all they were from Thrust from the arcade. Control your ship, collect all the diamonds, don't get blasted from stuff. Some great checkered backgrounds on this, a large number of levels, and it starts off easy enough, but you do have to learn about your thrusting, so you either hate these games or like them. I quite like them. This one isn't too bad. Another good one from Jonathan Caldwell, and his mighty collection. British Super League is another football management game. I prefer Tracksuit Manager, to be honest with you, although that sounds like you're managing a tracksuit shop. Bit more involved, this one. You can click on the individual players, get their fitness and stuff, different training, and the same again. You can change the names. This is Big Nose FC. We're more in the domestic league here, but the players are all random, so they might not necessarily be in the correct teams you remember from back in the day. Tracksuit Manager for the win. This one is okay as well. It's pretty much a database. Psycho Hopper. You get weird and wonderful games on the zxspectrum. This is another one. You are on a space hopper with a big gun. It's a horizontal scroller, and you must basically get to the end. Now, it gets a little bit awkward trying to judge some of the jumps some of the time, because is you can control, loosely, the height of your jumping. Yes. Could frustrate a lot of people, but if you're into space hopper games, that's only this one and another one I can think of, then this is one, but it's pure zxspectrum madness all the way. Rallybug, guess who this is by? It's by from Jonathan Caldwell. The first part is a platformer game. Look at that checkerboard that was used in Laris as well, so you borrowed that. But collect different letters as you're going along, and then when you get to the end of each level, you can use those letters in a sort of like hangman sort of thing to try and guess the word. Guess the word, and the level is over. Let's get to the finishing line here. Don't bash into anything. And here we go. Yeah, and then you select try and guess the word in the top left. Snooker Manager. Now, a few two management games here. This one's in snooker. I think you already know what this is about before I go and describe it. But pick your players, pick your cues, select sponsorships which come every now and again, and then watch your player try and win the snooker. It's done from a commentary again, I think, or a ball going backward and forward there to see who's actually winning. There's Barry versus Nick. And I was managing a player called Nick, and I'm called Nick as well. Strontium Dog, The Killing, influenced from characters from 2000 AD, that comic there. Yes, it's basically a maze game. It's a little bit flickery. You got to try and find 5, I believe, enemies in this base and kill them before they actually kill you. If you know the book The Running Man or the film, then it's influenced a bit from that, and not a bad little game. There are better ones about. Sotos from Inafuto has done a large number of games. He borrows the same music and the same graphics for a lot of the games, so it's got a sort of like style. One could argue that there's not enough variety going on now for the amount of games he's done, but they're all very addictive, and he's done cross-platform there, and you can get a bit of fun from them. They're immediately playable, and so a big thumbs up for that. Not the most advanced games for all the homebrewers, but it's all about playability at the end of the day, isn't it? Nice to see. Slain are probably an over-engineered text adventure game. If Psygnosis had done 8-bit games, it would probably look a little bit like this. The problem is you need to click on stuff to do your actions, and the options are moving around the screen, so it makes it very awkward to click on something without it zipping out of the way. Maybe that's supposed to add to the difficulty of the thing. Graphics are gorgeous, it's a good adventure in there, but the control system is poor, in my opinion. Dog's Body, you control this dog in a maze, a bit like Boulder Dash, I suppose. You must go and collect all the items, rescue all the dogs without getting hit by any of the enemies or any of the stuff falling on. Those flashing dogs are the stuff we must collect, so navigate your way through that. There's obviously a tactic there. We're trying to block stuff that's chasing you, as I've done sort of like there. It's a Dog's Body's life. You might not have seen this one. There's many maze games about there. It's not my favourite one, but it plays okay for a few minutes. Squid Race, homebrew there. There's the instructions written in BASIC. Basically, try and guess the speed going left and right or waggling your joystick to beat your opponent up the top. And that's about it, really. It's 2 squids in a race. You see my speed there represented in that percentage there if I'm doing the right speed. I'm getting up to speed, but I'm too slow. I was the white squid. So if you like racing squid and there's a limited amount of squid to pick from, then this is a game that you should be chasing. Alien Destroyer from back in the day. I'm not sure my version was playing quite as the real game should play, but it's a basic shooter game. You're controlling this thing down here. Is it a ship? Is it an urn? Is it a trifle? Is it a tea kettle? I don't know. But kill all the enemies and then it's on to the next one. You know, Space Raiders for the win for me in these sort of games. I think the original one does have some sound, but this wasn't loading particularly well. But yes, background gets more and more involved with these speckly things. I think some people might call them pixels. Alien Evolution, an isometric game, pretty much in the style of Ant-Attack in terms of its isometrics, but you control this ship going around and you must collect various items without getting bopped by the enemy. You don't have to rescue your girlfriend or anything like you do in the original Ant-Attack. You know, controls take a little bit of getting used to, but they're not overly difficult. Move objects to block enemies there to get your path, and then shoot them as well with different weapons that are available. So blast them, baby. Coracle. Guess what? It's Jonathan Caldwell again. You see there's a variety of his games. Shoot the clouds, or to drop water to raise the sea level. Once the sea level is at a certain height, then these balloons come past, and you must collect these animals, these sea life animals, to get to the next stage. Don't shoot down the wrong things, or the sea level will drop. Interesting premise, this game. Coracle, nice and gentle, a good stress buster, and nice and smooth again, good animation there. Aquarius. Now, this is a tricky little game. A horizontal scroller shooter. Scuba dive is much better, but you go advance forward, avoiding octopus and shark, and you must keep going. I think there's a cavern, shoot jellyfish if you need to, collect oxygen, but don't run out of that, and it's level by level there. But yeah, you've got the red octopus and the shark, where occasionally you zip onto the screen to try and end your day. Yes, I would have bought this if it had been budget back in the day. Hopper Copper, guess what? Another space hopper sort of game, but this time you're a policeman. All the police cars have been stolen, so you just reduce this space hopper to stop crime. There's this map there, going backward and forward. We must find the enemies, it tells us where they are, and go and flatten them with our space hopper to teach them a lesson. I don't think it's based on a true story. I know budgeting is quite limited on certain areas of government, but hopefully we never come to this. No Future, a homebrew, glorious sound on there. It's not vertical scrolling, it's single screen. Stuff keeps coming out this portal. Aliens are trying to nick our oxygen and our H2O, which is water, which also contains oxygen. We must blast them there. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the galaxy is made up with trillions and trillions of tons of water and oxygen, so why they need to come to our small planet to nick it, I don't know. It just sounds a little bit spiteful. But, an interesting game. It's well put together, and it's a bit of fun as well if you're looking for a quick shooter. House of the Living Dead, we reviewed this round about Halloween time. You must collect pieces of this amulet or cross and stick it in the middle without getting hit by the enemies over single screens. Each progressive screen, you've got one extra enemy who's chasing you, and it's a bit of fun, but it's not highly advanced as you would expect there. House of the Living Dead, you go up each floors, and everyone is alive but just sort of dead at the same time. There we go. And then we get the 4 pieces again. Bride of Frankenstein. Yes. Now this game could have been awesome. Graphically, it looks awesome there, but there's a few bugs in it. Really, you can get stuck to the side of the screen, and the ghosts will plant you there till you die. Also, as well, the enemies follow you a bit too closely too. And navigation on and off the screen can be a bit awkward. You go on and off, on and off, on and off without realising it, because you've got to reverse the direction that you're going. But as I say, it does look rather nice. Nightmare on Halloween. Well, this is a homebrew game and a well put together one. The jumping is cool. I do like the effect of this. Graphics again is great. You need to collect a certain amount of scrolls to complete the game, and I got quite a far way in here, so it's quite kind to newbies, and it does look completable after maybe a few days play. So if you want some sort of challenge, which is not really a big challenge, you can probably get in. Nice level design here too. I'm a big fan of this one. Street Cred Football, influence I think, because it came out afterwards. The original Speedball on the Commodore Amiga and Atari ST. It sort of works, but it's tricky at the same time. It's always hard to do these multiplayer games on the zxspectrum. This is one of the best ones I've come across. It takes a while to get used to it. You've got a number of players to try and get hold of the ball, but it's nice. No power-ups or anything. It's basic in that sort of stage, but you pick your players and you go forward. Magic Mountain. This is a text adventure game, which is always hard to get into a review. We've done a few of these, but if you know what to type in, you're good. Most of the time as a kid, I'll probably be running out of stuff to say and typing in rude words, especially when it frustrates you to that degree. But there's a lot to be solved here. Kids who are determined, who've got used to the things to type in, will have a good old adventure. My favourite one, of course, would always be The Hobbit, but it's good that these other ones exist. I'm sure we'll come up to more in the future every now and again. Homebrew, Morty Vicar, horizontal scroller shooter, great music, great pixel effects when you blow stuff up. There's power-ups there, which is essential you get to advance. It starts off easy enough, and great quality on this. If it had come out back in the day, it would have been a huge hit, I'm sure. Much prefer this to R-Type because it's fairer on the gameplay. good colour, good graphic design, and it feels like you're getting there and you want to go back to try and get a bit further each time. Chiller, chiller night, doo-doo. I think the original game had the thriller music, but that had to take that out due to a copyright thing. Collect crosses. Jumping is a little bit awkward, but not the worst I've ever come across. A lot moving on the screen at the same time here. You need to rescue your girlfriend and, collect the crosses. It does look a bit like Michael Jackson on the cassette tapes. They kept that as it was. Whether it was called Thriller originally, I don't know. But this time it's called Chiller. It's close to midnight. There's something evil lurking from the door. Fahrenheit 3000, influenced by Manic Mine and Jet Set Willy, as a lot of these were. You can tell pretty much by the radiation level going up and the name of the screen each time in that sort of like font. But they've made it way, way, way too difficult, and the jumping is absolutely ridiculous. The guy looks more like Technician Ted than the Jet Set Willy man, Minor Willy, but it's frustrating. If you get off level 1, then well done. It's slightly easier after that, but not a great deal. They should have made level 1 much more easy. Laris by Jonathan Cordwell again, another one of these gravity ones, a bit like Blizzard Rift. This time we need to collect orbs. Great music going through as well. Makes most use of the 128k AY chip. Lives in the top middle, orbs to collect in the top right, score in the top left. More stuff to do, and I think each level is progressively about twice as big as the one before, so it's an interesting sort of challenge. This and Blizzard Rift are ones to check out. Inspector Gadget in the Circus of Fear. Now, it's influenced by a game called Metrocross, which I love, and similar idea to Ninja Scooter too, but it just moves way too slow. Look at those characters coming across, look a bit like Horace from Horace Goes Skiing, which is the same sort of like outlet, so it's not surprising there. I did like Inspector Gadget the cartoon, but this doesn't contain any of the other characters like Brain or his car or Penny, and it's laborious to tell you the truth. The Pharaoh's Tomb. This is also a text adventure by the same people that gave us the Magic Mountain. You need to solve a number of things, but basically you need to collect items of treasure, bring them back to the oasis each time, and once you've got all of them, then the game is complete. Can't hack into this one, but again, if you're into text adventures, a similar experience to other ones you might have come across, and it draws the graphics in every now and again, like The Hobbit and those other ones I've mentioned. Future Race, this is written in BASIC, believe it or not. Very, very clever. Graphics are absolutely awesome, but yeah, because it's in BASIC, it's very, very slow. You control this motorbike, a great cockpit there in the way, but you're that motorbike, actually the white one on the screen, left and right, avoid all the enemies. I think there comes one on the screen at a certain time. Your progress, which I think is clever, once you test drive 2, you can see along the top there, that white thing gradually going across the bar bit by bit, and that shows you how far you got in the level, and your fuel's running out most of the time. So Western Girl, no, not a song by the Pet Shop Boys. Yeah, this game is interesting. I like the idea. It's just a little bit too difficult, really. Too much stuff comes at you. But I like the idea. I'd love to see this redone by a homebrewer, because I think this game has got mileage. It just needs a bit of tweaking with the end of level bosses and all that sort of stuff. But it'd be a great bit of fun. Different weapons to pick up. Well, I say that, the gun or your fisticuffs. Do a lot of jumping to jump over these people. Don't need to shoot all of them. Alibaba, from the fame of Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. This is classic gaming by the same people that gave us Western Girl. Thieves are trying to steal our money down the bottom of the screen. We must prevent them from doing so by bashing into them. As soon as all your money's gone, you've had it, but you must survive a certain amount of time, and it's on to the next screen. The red guy would kill you straight away. The others are just mischievous. You can bump into them to stop them in their tracks. They're trying to steal your money, which is then up the top. Breakin, a basic game, a Breakout clone. Much in the style of that Horizons tape Through the Wall, but this is even more basic than that. You can break into this game and learn some of the coding, which is always great fun if you're trying to get into that, but they don't come much more basic than this one. Like all these basic Breakout clones, the last few bricks are really tricky to get, but you might hack in and change the size of the ball or the bat or whatever you want to do with that. So although this didn't come out in the day, although it's a homebrew, I quite liked it. California Games, a collection of 5 or 6 games to get the hang of. This one is hacky sack, but you need to read the instructions and you need to practice as much as you can. You've got the half pipe, you've got skating, and numerous other ones there to feel that you're in California. This is the easiest one. We've also reviewed this on the Commodore Amiga as well, but it did come out on other systems too. I struggled a bit. It's a multi-load. Yes, California Games. Another alien game is Alien Insects. You control this game, you guy is like a Cyan Man with a jetpack. Only shots to the head count. The aliens are 2 different colours, but although it's interesting, there's not really enough variety for me, so I want you to keep going back there. But again, nice to see, and getting a nice little retro buzz from the thing. Can't break into this one. Anyway, 3 lives to start us off with. Eventually eggs start coming down, and it gets a bit impossible then, but there you go. The Legend of Trackstore, a homebrew. We've already reviewed Return to Trackstore, I think, previously. But we need to take these shapes with our tractor beam, the colours, and put them back in a place where there's 3 in a row. As soon as there's 3 in a row, then they will disappear if the screen fills up. It's Doomsville. You can actually hold a number of these shapes at the same time. We're doing special tactics. So it's a thinking game. The Return to Trackstore influenced columns, like a lot of these words were, and indeed Tetris. Race Ace, I think this game we've reviewed it before on a compilation called Don't Buy This, or at least it was in feels like a type-in for 60 programs for the Spectrum there. Set your number of laps, set your speed, and then it's left and right with your cyan car to go past all of these. Sometimes the controls go a bit weird because it's in the direction your car's turning, sometimes it turns automatically to be a bit awkward. Only worth seeing this from a historical point of view. I don't think it should ever have been a commercial release. Bit cheeky to do so. Fantastic adventure there. One of the late zxspectrum games. You can see that it takes influence from the Super Mario there, which isn't a bad thing because the great Genesis did on the Commodore Amiga as well. Yes, very, very flickery there. But I found it enjoyable for some reason. I mean, it wouldn't stand up today, and didn't know about this game back in the day either. But I don't know. It's not the smoothest game in the world. It should have been run through a better compiler, which is pretty basic. 7777. This is a sequel to 6666, which I haven't reviewed. But you control this guy. It's all monochrome, and basically you must survive by going further and further down this sort of like well or tunnel in the Earth's sort of like crust. What let this game down really, you've got your lives in the top left there. When you bump into stuff you lose one of those hearts, but when I lost the heart, the game just continued going on, and I feel like there was no jeopardy after that at that point. Ninja Scooter Simulator, we mentioned that, influences from Metrocross, a lot quicker than Inspector Gadget, so out of this and that one, you definitely play this one. You get extra points, which I didn't do, by doing stunts over the ramps, but it's way too easy, really. You've got a time limit to complete each of these sections, and you'll be completing them forever. It's almost like, it feels like you're playing it with a cheat mode on. Seems like you can crash every 2 seconds and still make the time, so maybe the skill is player 2 with skills. There's special delivery there. A Christmassy game. Collect the parcels, don't bump into the clouds of course, or you'll lose your presents. People in the comment section told me this because I got a bit confused. And then you can land on the chimneys and then descend and deliver the presents to under the tree, which you need to do. So it's in sort of like 3 parts, this sort of game. See, I bumped into a cloud, so that means I lost the presents. Land on here, and then we go down and down and down. So a Christmassy game there. As this one is, Buble Blast. You control that white sleigh down the bottom of the screen there. Shoot all the baubles. Don't get hit by them. There's lots moving on the screen at the same time with a decent speed. This was in a Whoop magazine. It comes out every, well, it comes out a lot, but I load like the Christmassy ones. Blast all them, and then you're on to the next stage. And if you beat that, you get a sock bonus. And there's a bit of speech there too to greet you with your sock bonus. I think there's going to be another Christmassy game coming up because we review a few. Crazy Christmas, there we go. This is the best one of the lot that we reviewed this year in my opinion there. It's a platformer with great music, although it doesn't feel Christmassy at all. There, collect a spade to get through a snowdrift on the side of the screen. There's the bottom right this time. There's the spade. And then you've got to do the same again on a different level. I'd like the snow, nice attention to detail, moves fairly well. There, biff. And also, if you lose a life, you just continue from where you are, which is nice. Elving the Elf, very tricky to get off level 1, but once you learn how to do that, the rest is easy. Influenced by Manic Miner. Collect all the letters and then go to the flashing box at the end there. Sound familiar? Yes, it does. Elving the Elf. Most people would have just bumped into the fireplace each time wondering what to do. There we go. Boom. There we go. Well done, Elvin. Very manic minor as that level goes. Roasty. Very, very annoying to control. You're a potato. As soon as you hit the switch, you start boiling and you can't unstoppable jumping, and that's when it becomes a bit difficult. You can't control the jumps then, and you need to chuck yourself into an oven. So yes, what's that a lesson for everyone? Hot potato, throw yourself into ovens so someone can eat you. Seems like an odd idea to me. But anyway, that's Christmassy, and you know, we always do about 3 or 4 Christmassy games each year. Keep making the hobos or we're going to run out. So hope you liked having a look at that roundup, the next latest chapter in the section there. So that was zxspectrum games reviewed on the channel, 1301 to 1350. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That helps your channel go. That helps us keep going. Let's get up to 2,000. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? Anyway, till next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.